Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Howard Neukrug. I'm the Water Commissioner for the City of Philadelphia. I'm here to answer the question, why the heck do you have the Water Commissioner of Philadelphia talking to you about transportation? Hopefully you'll get to see why. This is just a little bit of background about the City of Philadelphia. How many of you guys have been to Philadelphia? Oh, good. Wonderful. Great. You should all come back again. Philadelphia Water Department prides itself as being a sustainable utility in support of a sustainable city. We have 2,000 employees that are serving 2 million population, and we do everything in drinking water, wastewater, stormwater, water resource management. As a matter of fact, anything that has to do with water is part of what we do except for the rain. But after it rains, we get in trouble because there's flooding, there's overflows of sewage into our rivers and streams, and there are other problems that we have to deal with. The operation that is close to $1 billion operation, 700 million operating, 250 million a year in capital, and we need a lot more money because, like all your water systems back home, we have aging infrastructure, and we have deferred maintenance, and we have all these new things that we want to do in order to provide safe, high-quality drinking water well into the 21st and 22nd century. Our system is 6,000 miles of water and sewer pipe. It's old. The average age of our pipe is 67 years. We have 3 drinking water plants and 3 wastewater plants. They're all going to have to be rebuilt in the next 20, 30 years. And we have a pelletization plant, takes all the solids and makes it into fertilizer. So this is the picture of Philadelphia that I like to show, and it's how I see Philadelphia. It's basically it's water, it's green, there's clearly places to recreate, and there's also a dense urban fabric happening in our city. And this is how I perceive it. This is South Philadelphia. This is the reality of where I need to provide drinking water 24/7. I need to be able to take the rainwater and make sure people's feet don't get wet, their basements don't get flooded, and I need to make sure that we manage all that rainwater. The way we've done it for the last 100 years is that we have these things called overflows. This is one of our largest, and they're not all this big, but we have 164 of them. And when it's not raining, they're dry. And when it's raining, there's a small mixture of raw sewage and rainwater that's overflowing into our rivers and streams. We call that CSOs, combined sewer overflows. If you don't know what it is, thank the Lord and just move on. But if you do, if you're one of the 800 cities in the country that do have CSOs, you'll know that your water utility is spending hundreds of millions, if not billions and billions of dollars trying to figure out how to manage the water. So how do you manage the water? How do you keep that overflow from going? That way you can make it stop raining so much, and I think we already heard earlier today that that's not going to happen. We can increase the sewer capacity. We can increase capacity, or we can do something else, which is my favorite, which is reducing the demand on the existing capacity that we have. We call that the green approach. It's kind of like the same thing as the highways. You have a choice. You have too much traffic, you can either increase, put more lanes in, or you can convince people not to drive. Here in Philadelphia, instead of putting in bigger and bigger sewers and tanks and tunnels, we're teaching the rainwater not to go into our drains. As soon as that water goes into our drain, it becomes a waste product. We're doing this by this program we call it Green Cities, Clean Waters, and we're basically transforming the entire city of Philadelphia, slowly. Not a revolution, but an evolution over time. We reached a consent order with EPA in September of 2012, where basically we're going to be greening the city over the next 25 years with the effort to keep rainwater out of our sewer. That's it, keep rainwater out of our sewer. If I was to build a bigger tunnel or tank, it would cost about $10 billion, and I don't have that. So this is not only what we like to do, but it's really the only thing we can do in a city in order to start to deal with this issue of these overflows. So we have this program, Green Cities, Clean Waters. We call it One Water, One City, many different places. And we're looking everywhere, every square foot of the city of Philadelphia to see where can we do something green, where can we keep water out of the drain pipe. We look at communities, transit, rivers and streams, parks, schools, streets, businesses, parking lots, universities. I don't see homes and residents on there, but it certainly belongs there. Every square foot. What we promised EPA is that over 25 years, we're going to take 10,000 acres of impervious cover. Imagine 10,000 acres of parking lot, and take that water that's now going into our sewer system, and then going into our overflows, into our rivers and streams, and we're going to manage that water above ground. You can do that with very green methods, you can do it with gray methods, with 10,000 acres. So one of the things that we're looking at is the streets. And we put together this manual. It's called the Green City of Philadelphia Green Streets Design Manual. It's online. It's available. We're hoping that other cities take it and use it and perfect it more than it is now. A few years ago, I said that the day that we designed the street tree pit and water trench in a way that actually works permanently and works for a long time and is fairly maintenance-free, that's the day I can retire. We're not there yet. We're still in that evolutionary period of discovering and figuring out how to make these things work. The idea that you can take rainwater and keep it out of a sewer in a big northeastern city like Philadelphia is backwards from everything that we've practiced and engineered for the last 200 years. The entire city, our city, every city in the country, in the world, is basically built on a slope. You have your roof slopes into a roof drain. The roof drain goes to the yard brings the water to the sidewalk into the street has a crown on it, and everything is headed to that sewer. So making this change is very expensive and very difficult because it's doing things differently than everyone's ever done things before. We are very lucky and fortunate that in the city of Philadelphia we also have another group of folks who are very much interested in complete streets, and they've done the Complete Streets Design Manual. So a lot of the things you just heard about we're also looking at in terms of pedestrians and cars and bicycles, and how do you manage all that in a thick urban environment. Here's why streets are so important to me in my programs, because basically a quarter of all the impervious cover in the city of Philadelphia has something to do with streets or parking or sidewalks. And so it's a big part of our 10,000 acres I'm trying to get. This is a little benefit I didn't really know about until I became commissioner and started connecting the dots here. Anybody know what this is?
Cherry Hill.
Cherry Hill. This is the water utility at work. This is the water utility coming into a block that's 100 years old and rebuilding the sewer. When I do this, the way I've always done it is we give them new concrete sidewalks, we give them new pavement, and we leave, and it costs us about $3 million for every mile of this that we do. The cost to, instead of putting this back as impervious, but put it back as a green street, is pretty minor in the overall cost to me of building this sewer in a block like this. So to me, I have a very easy way to take a street like this and make it green.
Minor being what?
Minor being, no, I call it ancillary cost. We use 5-10% of the cost of, if you have a $3 million project and it's going to cost you an additional $100,000 to $200,000 to put a green solution in rather than replace it with in-kind with cement and pavement. It's it's within the margin of error for a $300 million a year capital budget. I don't know if you can see this very well, but the top is looking at one of our larger streets, Washington Avenue, and looking to show in just a pictorial form what can be done in making that street green. For me, I'm keeping the water out of the sewer, but while I'm doing that, I'm adding bump outs, I'm adding trees, I'm doing a whole bunch of things that ease traffic, make pedestrian crossings simpler and safer, and providing bike lanes.
Did you do that, or is that just in head?
This will be done. This will be done. This is a cartoon.
Okay.
This is a drawing.
Okay.
And we're doing this, and as I think I heard a number of speakers talk about, triple bottom lines, so social, environmental, and economic benefits of what the water utility can do in support of a sustainable city. This is just, you know, we've now completed about 800 different projects, green projects in the city of Philadelphia, and about 400 of them deal with street projects. The rest are schools, businesses, residents, and a whole bunch of different things. And we also have, just throw it out right now, we also have stormwater regulations that requires every time somebody rebuilds in our city that they need to rebuild and manage the stormwater. And right now our rebuilding rate is about 0.4 to 0.5% of all the impervious cover gets rebuilt each year as old buildings go down and new buildings go up. And we also have started a fee system, so we start now charge people for sending their stormwater into my street drain. And that has created a commodity of rainwater and given us a way to take rainwater and make it valuable and make a business out of people actually going around keeping that water out of our sewers.
Did you change the little street in the first place? You showed us, did you make that green, the little street?
No, we didn't. We didn't, because we're new in this program and trying to figure out how do we connect the dots here. How do I get my green folks, green design, connected with my gray design people? People have been doing this for 50 years, literally, 100 years. How do we get them to think together? How do you get them to work together? How do you get them to work with the streets department, the planning group, the communities, everything you hear about bringing everyone together? It's really very important. But so that street, no. But that's the catch. That's the thing that we have is as we move forward here, there is a lot of streets. We do about 8 miles of streets a year for sewers. We do another 25 miles for water pipes. So making these connections, and Mayor Emanuel in Chicago also has made that connection between infrastructure for water systems versus gas and electric and streets, and putting it all together and figuring out how to better coordinate, which unfortunately, even though it's 2015, we still have a lot of room to improve that coordination. So this is just a picture that shows the street. If you're walking down the street, you don't really notice anything other than you have a beautiful new sidewalk and street, but the reality is that you have a rain system that's capturing the street runoff, bringing it in underneath the tree pit, and providing a place for hopefully infiltration. If the ground can't be, if the ground is not good for infiltration, it'll be hold the water back for a while and then you release it to the sewer. Because again, my purpose is to keep rainwater out of the sewer as long as possible so that we don't overflow. These are some retrofit projects of looking at bump outs and how that works. This is our first porous pavement street. We did a small street, kind of like the street that I showed before, and used porous pavement, and there was a lot of naysayers, but we did get the mayor out there with water balloons and throwing it at the ground, and it was a great day. And now we have 40 porous pavement streets on the books. We have a number that are in, and they're being designed and built as we sit here. And again, the idea is just make it porous. Now, this is a very small street, and that's basically where we started. But there are other ways to look at something like this, and you take a porous street and you convert it to a porous area where there's bike lanes, which we haven't done yet, and then you have impervious rolling the water onto the porous because and there are always plenty of ways of doing this. This shows a bump out that we're designing that's in connection with ADA ramps. Is ADA ramps just a curse for Philadelphia, or is it I don't know if it's national? Yeah. Okay, I'm seeing some, yeah. Well, the water department needs bump outs. The water department needs to take impervious cover and make it pervious, and the streets department needs to build these ADA ramps. And not only that, but the ADA ramps are get little puddles at the bottom, which the public doesn't like. So we're looking at ways to deal with that. Bringing streets together. I'm just going to go through some slides because I have 60 seconds left. This is our Navy Yard, where one of our early successes with getting the privates to build green streets. This is Ben Franklin Parkway. This is near where Rocky climbed up the steps, and here we actually put the stormwater management, actually not in the street, but in the green space next to it, underneath the pervious concrete system, and but allowed the water to go through from the street into there. I see you.
But I didn't think I'd stretch.
Washington and Stetton, a number of different sites. One's a street that we had a lane that needed to be closed. So we bought the lane from the streets department and did stormwater management there. On the bottom is a traffic island, bump outs again, porous pavement, permeable pavers. We have a parking lot that we have 6 different kinds of permeable pavers that we're testing with the EPA. We've taken this, we put it into a strict design, so this is really engineered. These are engineered systems. We've provided color graphics, and we put it together into this manual. And Mayor Nutter is very proud of what's been accomplished here, and there's so much more that needs to be done. Thank you.
All right.